Stop trying to hide your age. Most of the makeup tips you're following to look younger are actually making you look, well, older. That full coverage foundation and the matte concealer might seem like a fix, but all it's doing is settling into your fine lines and making your texture even more visible. Today we're throwing out those outdated rules, and I'm giving you 5 unconventional steps to help mimic that youthful glow that we all love. The first step might be a little obvious to some, but maybe not to most, and that is to do some sort of exfoliation either every day or a couple of times a week. The older we get, the less cell turnover we have, so we tend to have more dead skin and texture on the face. Now, we're already fighting gravity, so we don't want to also be fighting the texture on our actual skin. I like to recommend a gentle chemical exfoliant. I wouldn't use it every day, but a couple of times a week is great. I really love these Your Favorite X exfoliating pads from YSE Beauty because it's basically the pad with the solution all in one. They just come in these little exfoliating pads, and it has a little pocket right here for you to place your fingers in, and then you can just go all around. And I like to make sure that I concentrate it on my chin, around my nose, because you can get a lot of dead skin on the nose, especially in like the nooks and crannies of your face. These are also super gentle. They have PHAs in them, which are gentle chemical exfoliants, along with glycolic, which is my personal favorite because it floods the skin with hydration while also exfoliating. This is my favorite first step to do in all of my makeups. Plus, it primes the skin for whatever skincare you're going to put on top of it. For the second step, we are still talking about skin and skin prep. For my skin prep, I used the POV Soothing Priming Milk. I love using milky toners or toners in general just to hydrate the skin in lieu of moisturizers because I love how they flood the skin with hydration, but they don't add an extra layer of texture on the skin that you're going to put makeup on top of. They tend to plump the skin, hydrate the skin, and then they absorb and do their job. For sunscreen, I have Every Single Face from Supergoop. This is a water-based formula, which is super important with the other products that I'm layering on my face. You want to make sure your products are going to play well together. So you want water-based products to go together, silicone-based products to go together. And that officially leads me into step 2, which is color correction. Now, I know color correction can seem a little scary and a little bit tricky. It absolutely is not. You just have to find the right products. I'm going to talk about 2 of my favorite color correctors that I've been using in my pro kit and on myself that I have been loving, and they have eliminated so many extra steps as far as the makeup that I put on my skin and the makeup that I put on my clients. I used to be anti-color corrector because I could never figure out a way to make them work for me, and I think I was just using the wrong formulas. That being said, I want to talk about these Isamaya color correctors. I have 2 of them, as you can see. Do you need to buy 2 of them? Absolutely not, but I wanted to demonstrate both of them so you could see how they work and what you use them for. So this first one is the Lilac Corrector. This one is for fair to medium skin tones, and it's meant to brighten the complexion. So if you have a sallow complexion, it looks like your skin is a little dull and need of a little bit of life, this is what you're going to want to use. Now, if you're like me and you have issues with redness, whether it's hormonal, whether it's age, doesn't matter. I have a lot of redness in the middle of my face, on my nose, on my chin. I tend to have it on my cheeks as well. This green color corrector, this is the shade Pistachio. This is perfect for that. I'm going to use both of them together just so you can see in real time how they work and how easy they are to apply. I'm going to give the purple one a shake. I'm going to take a little on the back of my hand like this, and I'm going to grab a brush. That's very important. I wouldn't take fingers onto the skin because I feel like you might have a tendency to over apply it, and you want it to be very, very sheer. Another key to really beautiful ageless makeup is very thin layers of product. I'm going to take the Sealy brush and I'm just going to tap it into the product, and I'm going to use this corrector all over. The Lilac Corrector is one that will blend into the skin if you have fair to medium skin tones, and you don't have to worry about being super precise about it because you want the whole face to have that glow and that brightness to it. And what the Lilac Corrector does is it actually does help to cancel a little of that redness out, so I don't have to use as much green corrector. I'm going to take the green corrector. I want to do this in real time because I want you to see just how easy it is. I'm just going to take a little of it on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to take the other side of the Sealy brush, which is the concealer side. I'm just going to grab a little bit, and I actually have a little mirror right here. I just want to be really precise. And I'm going to pat it all on my nose and out towards my cheeks. And I don't know if you can see, but it is actually removing the redness in real time. It's crazy. But it's also super sheer. And it kind of becomes a part of the skin, which is great. But just kind of tapping gently, pressing it into the skin, not buffing it in like we did with the lilac one. Grabbing a little bit more. This side of my face tends to get more red than the other side. I don't really know why. Just gonna tap it in with the other end of the brush, like that. But do you see how that just took my redness down? And then I'm gonna take a little, probably up through the forehead, fan it out. Look at that. Do you see how that just color corrected? Like I said, I wanted to show you in real time. So it's not like I'm hiding anything or like doing anything tricky or doing a special technique. I'm literally just tapping this in. And that took down probably about 80 to 90% of my redness just with the color corrector. And I could probably walk out just like this. And I literally have no concealer, no tint, no foundation, nothing on my face. Color correctors, it's where it's at. Okay, color correction is done. We're moving on to step 3, which is skin tints versus foundation. Now, I'm always going to preach using skin tints, using thinner textures and layering them rather than just placing a heavy foundation on your face. There are a myriad of obstacles that I could go through that you would run into if you just decide to go in with a heavy foundation, rather than taking the time, maybe even an extra minute or two, to take 1 or 2 extra steps. When it comes to skin tints, I do have a couple of requisites. I like something that is going to be flexible and that is going to move with the face, not settle into fine lines. Not every skin tint is created equal. I know there are a lot out there. There are some with SPF, there are some without SPF. I have favorites in both categories, but I'm going to talk about one today that is a new favorite because the brand was nice enough to send them to me. It is the Sealy Tint and Protect. It's an SPF 50. Now, I do already have sunscreen on. I'm going to preface this right now. Make sure you wear a separate sunscreen. Even if your skin tint, your foundation, whatever it is, has SPF in it, make sure you have a separate sunscreen. You want to make sure your skin is protected. Now, I've been wearing this for the last couple of days, really loving it. I love the finish and I love that I can control where I put it. And yes, another reason why I like it is because it moves with the face. It doesn't settle into my fine lines. And that for me is an A++. So I'm going to grab the Sealy brush that I was using before and I'm going to take a little of the product. I'm just going to tap it lightly, mostly in the middle of the face where I need it. And because I use those color correctors, I can use so much less. In fact, I actually pumped out way too much on the back of my hand. I realize it now. I'm just gonna stretch it up to the forehead. I'm taking whatever's left on the brush and just pulling it down to the perimeter of the face. You can take it down the neck if you want. This new era of tinted sunscreens is so good, y'all. Like, they're just the most unbelievable formulas. They're shelf stable, they don't break down, and it's so great to be able to have an option of something that is lightweight but also gives you that extra protection over your sunscreen. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I know I'm using their brush and the skin tint, but it's because it's new and I've been loving it. So I only use things that I love. This 4th tip is probably my most favorite because I've just been loving this trend so much. And I don't even really think it's a trend. I think it's actually much more timeless, even though it's probably only come around within the last year or 2. It is the red blush. Now, I know you're going to look at this and say, oh my gosh, how on earth can I wear this? But this color, when you buff it out, is actually the most natural blush that you can wear because it mimics the natural flush of your face. It mimics the blood rushing to your face as if you just like ran around the block. And you know how after you work out, you look healthy, you look youthful. After you come in from the cold and you have that flush that goes across your nose. I mean, it's the reason why the blush draping has become so big in the last couple of years because it's very versatile. Placement is also very, very important. And as far as the shade, this is my absolute favorite red blush that I've been using. This is Miriam from Violette. It's just the most perfect beautiful red. This would work on pretty much any skin tone, I think, except for super deep skin tones. I'm not sure if she has a deeper blush than this that would work, but I will find one that is appropriate for deeper skin tones and I will link it in the description box below. Now, normally what I would do is I would emphasize placing this blush on the back of your hand and working off the back of your hand, but this particular formula is actually very sheer, so it's very user friendly. So as far as where you put it, it's easy to blend out and you don't really have to worry about putting too much on unless you really pack it on. So if you start light and you work in layers, that's the perfect way to do it. Now what I like to do, this is my personal one, is I'll just take it, placing it on the top of the cheekbone, kind of working in that area right now. And then I'm going to take my foundation brush and buff that and then bring it back towards the temple. And then we're going to work our way in. But what we're doing is we're mimicking that natural flush. So I'm going to go over the nose. I might add just a little bit more. I'm going to take the other cheek just like that. And with this, more is really more, honestly. Just going to take a little bit on the nose. I have not powdered anything either, so we have free reign as far as being able to manipulate the cream. I'm actually going to go in with a separate brush because I feel like my foundation brush was mixing too much in with the blush and it wasn't giving me the payoff that I want. There we go. But I love taking up a lot of real estate on the face with this blush because it mimics a natural flush and because it's just so pretty. It makes such an impact and it's not really a lot of effort. It's also funny because I took the time to color correct my nose and then I'm putting blush on top of it, but there is a method to the madness, I promise. Like if you don't cover the redness and then you put the blush on top, it just doesn't work. You have to correct it first and then put the blush on top and it just makes everything look a little more cohesive. Just taking a little bit of pressed powder. This is Palisades Pink from Tower 28. I have a Thrive Cosmetics brush, just a fluffy brush. I just want to set the middle of my face, under my eyes. I don't even have any concealer on, honestly, because I just wanted to show you the individual steps. I have no mascara on because it's all about skin. The fifth and final step is kind of one of those tricks that's a little underrated as far as creating a more youthful look, and that is freckles. So I have the Freck Noir right here. I'm just going to take it. So what I like to do is I like to work in stages. I'm going to take just a few. I recommend grabbing a stiff brush. This is my blush brush. I'm going in and tapping. And what that does is it just kind of blurs it. Just going to work in stages. And what I like to do to make sure they look as natural as possible, this is the Freck XL. These are more warm tone. So I like to just kind of intersperse these. And I feel like a mixture of the warm and cool tone freckles just makes it look more natural. Like they're actually my freckles. And you don't need to be precious about it, really. Freckles don't have a natural pattern that they follow. They're just kind of sprinkled all over. So there really is no way to mess this up. And the more blurred and kind of diffused they look, the more natural they look. So I just added a little lip and a little bit of mascara, but this is the final look. Now, I know that this might not be for everybody, especially the red blush, but I don't want you to be afraid of it. Just try a little bit and you can always build up. You don't have to go as red or as blushy or as I am. And with the freckles, I know that it's an extra step. It isn't something that I do every day, but if I have the extra time and I'm feeling a little cheeky, I do it and I love it. And it's one of those things that whenever I wear my makeup like this, I always get compliments on it. It's like, oh, you look so fresh. You look so awake. You know, you look great or whatever. I definitely attribute it to these steps. And while yes, the red blush is a little on trend, it's still so timeless because like I said, it mimics that natural flush that we all get. Please let me know in the comments below which of these steps you loved or which of these steps might scare you a little bit. It's okay. It's just makeup. You can put it on, you can build it up, and you can wash it off. It is not a big deal. As always, I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe for more tutorials like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week with a brand new video.